Hello, I am Jaimee Barrington, and I'm here to share my story today in full disclosure. I am here as the face of the feminine, the Divine Mother, and of Yeshua. Yeshua is who we all know and love as Jesus. He and I have been walking together and coming into one as we are the divine face of the future, as since 3 years ago, September of 2017, I believe, is when we had our emergence in France. We are now in the embodiment of the feminine coming forward. He is here with me. We are walking together as one. I guess you could call it, some would say, like a step in, or as two souls have merged into one embodiment, is the best way to explain this. We're here to share our story. I have been his twin flame for many lifetimes, the Mary Magdelene, as you know, through Jesus. I've had many other faces and ascended masteries as we've come into the incarnate lifetimes. Many of you would know me as the Lady Nada, Kuan Yin, Lakshmi, and many, many others. But I think the most important one that we're going to start with today and discuss is Eve. As Eve and as Anana, I have come to this world and this planet in co-creation with my Yeshua, my beloved, to bring about a world that has unfortunately not ascended. We have been descending as a human and planetary race. And we're here today to let you know in full disclosure that we are ascending and we have accomplished and completed all of our circles, and our timelines are being corrected and healed. And there are many, many blessings to come. And we want to share them and bring encouragement and to let you know that we are here and we've never left. I'd like to start out with a prayer, and I want to offer a healing for all of those who are free will and willing to be open and ready to receive. This is very important that we work and do our inner healings and our work within ourselves so that we can arise and to raise our vibrational and our mind, our body, and our spirit, so that we can be in that preparation for ascension. If you would just bow your heads and really go from your head to your heart space and open yourself up to be ready and willing to receive all that is beautiful, that is good, that is whole. And I am going to say this prayer to release and to cleanse and to remove all the karma and the wounds that we've been holding on to. Dear Heavenly Mother, Father, Creator, we ask that you help all to release anything and everything not of your pure love, pure light, and pure truth, for their highest good and for the highest good of all of the universe, for their maximum vital health, to be released now and permanently. And we send it from the past, the present, and the future, directly to the feet of you, Creator. We ask that you help them grant full forgiveness to all that have caused them harm, hurt, injury, jealousy, ego, violence, trauma, anger, shame, guilt, yokes, bondage, and all other ill wills. We ask that all dark magic, curses, chains, cords, promises, agreements, expectations, compromises, entanglements, vines, holy or unholy contracts, bindings, karma, past lives, generational, and DNA, and all other attachments to be released now and permanently, and grant themselves full forgiveness for any part that they may or may not have willingly or unwillingly played in any and all these situations. All you need to do is say yes and to give it to God. And we, through the divine, through Mother and Father Creator, through Christ Yeshua. We deem this to be so with much love and gratitude. Amen. That is a very, very powerful prayer and contract that we are setting with the new souls to release from all the old past karmas and to bring in balance and truths. That's all it takes. The final piece in all of this, through is learning your lessons and clearing your karma and to live in the best version of yourself. The self that is your true divine purpose. We are no longer 3D dimensional beings. We were born and reincarnated time and time again. We were stuck in this loop, in contractual from the beginning. We are actually coming into a time where the earth has been destroyed, deconstructed, toxified, violated, and those times are done. And we've completed this cycle many times. It's time now that that comes to an end and that we bring hope and love and light to the future that we now have walked that threshold or crossed the threshold and that we're now moving into. Ascension is happening. We are in ascension. It is time. It's time for you to know full truths. It's time for these illusions and all of these things to be casted away. It's time. It's time for the star seeds to go home. For those that have been here teaching and walking the paths and taking life after life through ascended masteries to go and to complete this cycle. When we came to the earth as Yeshua and Anana, we came in the beginning to create a world as co-creators, kind of like children. We found that we made many mistakes. We're here to correct and take accountability of those mistakes. There are many of the divine who are here walking today upon this earth at this time because we are here for the fight of our lives. And it's not our lives we're fighting for. It's for the children and the souls that are here and growing as Terrans or as earth people. But there are many galactic beings that have took up arms and have decided to fight and to stand with us and to help this process. Don't be afraid. There is nothing to fear. Fear was the illusion that keeps us stuck in this 3D world, the imprisonment in which was part of our karma and part of the guidelines or the boundaries that we were stuck in. Each time, through death, we go back into the recycling pool and we come back into a new embodiment. People forget every time they come back into rebirth. That's part of our rules that we had to follow in the human form. But you're not human. Human, you are soul. You are a true divine being, a light, a being of truth and authenticity and genuineness and love and kindness. But because of all the traumas and the harms and the hurts and the wars and the wounds and the toxins that we've endured from centuries and lifetimes and earth lifetimes, we've been here, done this many, many times, and it hasn't gotten better. We have to wake up. We're beyond our time limits. We need to wake up now, and we need to start taking that true step of accountability. We are accountable for ourselves and only ourselves. We're not here to judge. We're not here to criticize. We're not here to cause harm or to manipulate or to trick. We're not even here to be in the materialism. We're here to learn to love. We're here to learn to grow and to find opportunities through growth. We have beautiful beings that are here walking this earth, just shining and spreading their love and spreading their light, and to be way showers, examples of what it's like to come, of the new world or the new earth or the 5D dimensional that you keep hearing about. It's real. It's truth. We're here to bring those that are ready and willing. We don't go against free will. Many of you haven't woken up. Many of you have woken, and many are in the process of awakening. Humanity has been in the infant stage for far too long. We are now shifting into more of the adolescence, and we're seeing many of the adolescents shifting into the adulthood, which has brought the shift into this earth polarity into a higher frequency, which is causing us to be able to ascend. Those that are awoken and have been awoken for the last century or half a century, we thank you. You have been the backbone. You have been in the trenches. You have been the ones that have continued the fight and kept that spark alive until those that were ready for the next generations and for the other star beings to finally see and catch on that this is a planet and a humanitarian cause, a mission worth saving. We started out as an experiment with many, many beings, dark, governmental, political, you name it. Everybody had their hands in this pie. But that time is done. That time for full disclosure is happening. We have many, many undercover, or those that are on the ground doing the work. And they may seem like the least possibility of the ones that are actually working for the divine or standing in truth and light. We're not here to be popular. The ones that you seem that take on the most devastation or the most abuse or the most vile criticism, those are the ones that you should be thanking. Those are the ones that are doing the work that no one else is willing to do. We really need to come forward and to understand we are souls, divine beings in a human vessel, but we are not this vessel. With God, with Yeshua, with the divine, Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, universe, everything is possible, and we're making it happen today, right now in the present. And I'm here today to be a part of this message with all the love and gratitude for the work and the progress that we've completed. And I'm here to tell you with all my heart, I am excited to be able to greet you and to honor every one of you for being brave and courageous to be at this time and in this space today. And to make this happen, we are creating our multidimensional world. We are shifting. The fifth dimensional is our new home. It's a frequency. It's a state of being. And you have to practice now in order to reach that place. We are multidimensional beings. We have shifted from the 3D into the fourth dimensional. Many of you are already experiencing this. The experiences are, we think, wow, what's wrong with my head? A lot of scatterbrains, a lot of forgetfulness, a lot of pressures, a lot of illness, symptoms. But what you're experiencing is what I call the spiritual flu. It's a process that you have to purge and to let go and to detoxify not only your physical health, but your emotional health and especially your spiritual health. There are many of us who are here. We have created a center called the Divine Healing Heart Ministry. It is the same ones that walked when Jesus and Mary Magdelene walked. We are here. We are picking up where we left off, completing circles. When we got so far in that lifetime and it didn't happen, and ascension didn't complete, we came back in this life to make that connection and to complete what we started. Yeshua and I are one. I am an open book. I am here through my love and my free will. When Jesus ascended, there's many stories that was hidden, erased, destroyed. The Bible did not keep itself in full integrity or intact of all truths. There was a life. He had a wife. He had children. We had children. And I loved him more than anything. When he left, and it was his time for ascension, I stayed. I have full memories of many of my lifetimes. I've been here since the beginning, and I plan to stay here until the end. But my time is growing short. Yeshua reminds me that he too misses his beloved, and it is our time to be home and to start a new world. And it's up to you and our children and our lineage of the holy bloodline, or as they call us in the Galactic world, the originals. We've been here for a very long time, and we are among you, the archangels, both in male and female in separation, because as humans we come in as one embodiment of only half the soul. You take the feminine or the masculine half. But we are coming back into unity. We are coming back into one. When we get to go home and when we ascend into our full essence, we'll have the opportunity to be on one plane, one dimension, and we'll be in just one true whole soul. That is my hope for all of you, to be whole and complete, full of joy, love, peace, integrity, ethics. I get emotional when I think about the times that we've gone through. Since I was 3 months old, I came into my awakening. Most adults don't get that opportunity until much later down the road, when they start awakening through traumas or triggers or dream states. But as the new children are being born in the present, they are coming fully awoke. Once we've crossed this threshold into the fourth dimensional, we've broken and shattered all the old contracts. We are no longer kept and held asleep. It is our free will. If we choose to wake up, we can wake up, and we need to wake up. We need to come back into full remembrance. But the children coming in now, who are brilliant and bright, are fully awoken, and I ask that you please, as parents, teachers, guardians, community people, give support to these children, give support to one another. We need to understand that we need to encourage and to nurture these unique and beautiful beings that are coming to us today to help, who have volunteered to come to make this shift, to rise and bring in the vibrational for all of us to ascend. There was a time when the ascension was only for a few. They called it the harvest. They were to come in and remove those star seeds, or us originals that have been here, done this, and be done. The human race was known as the lost tribe, or the forgotten ones. That didn't sit well with me. Yeshua and I decided that we started this, and we're going to finish it strong. When Jesus ascended and left Mary Magdelene, I stayed well into my hundreds, and I lived in a cave, it's truth, and I wrote my own books, which were never published. They were destroyed, they were hidden, but they were the ancient recordings, documentations, history of everything, of all the teachings from all of our lifetimes, from the very beginning. But at that time, I chose, when I could have ascended, to stay. I came back, and I have continued to stay in the reincarnated until my children get to go home. That was the last time that Yeshua and I have walked together. I'm ready to go home. I'm tired. I've been fighting a very long time. But I'm also excited, and I'm so full of joy and hope, because I have seen in a very short period of time such tremendous shifts and changes that has never happened in any history of any timelines or any dimensions. We have gone beyond the beyond. We have made changes even in the galactic records, and changed councils and changed levels of expectations and levels of integrity that has never been addressed before. I'm sure you can imagine what it was like to be a god in the beginning. Literally everything was your playground. But through us, through the creation of this earth and this world and the recreation of us, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, we're going into the 4th earth. We've been there, done this. But we're finally coming to an end. No more experiments, no more violations, no more hatred, no more criticisms. The only judgment is that of the universe, and through karmic law and the natural laws that we must abide by in order to keep order and health and peace. We have so much beauty, so much color, vibrations, and frequencies that you can't even imagine. Our senses here are muffled and dulled and heavy and laden and burdened. But once we complete this shift and we get into our 5th dimensional plane, it's magic. It's pure magic. We have abilities to see, sense, feel, go without bounds, without limitations in the physical sense. We always have to follow the laws of nature and karma. But that's for our own safeties and well-being. We've learned as divine beings and co-creators and gods and all those wonderful labels that this is the time of growth. But it's also the time of maturity, and healing must happen. And that is where we come in. We are here to be the way showers. We are here now as ascended masters, teachers, healers, mediums, psychics, unique children, star, indigos, rainbows, crystal children. They're not deformed. They're not strange or weird. They are unique and beautiful, and they're here to show us and to teach us the greatest lessons of true unconditional love and acceptance. Acceptance of for who we are as we are in the present and for what is to come in the future. We have to practice now. Our time is running out. We're here to disclose that there are dark beings. There are dark governments. There are systems that are so faulty and politically incorrect. That's not who we are. You have to stop fighting among each other. You have to stop criticizing. You have to stop the violence. We need to grow together in unity and stop the separations. When we come into birth, we are already separated from ourself. We are put into two beings, a male half and a female half, which are separate. And one could be over here doing one mission while one could be in another plane doing another mission. That tears our soul. It's torture. To feel that ache and that void constant is why many turn to drugs, chemical stimulants, violence, sex, acts towards ourselves or one another that is not uplifting or healing. Addictions is at its high because our inner souls, our inner higher self is screaming to go home, screaming for that part of us that we're searching and don't understand. It's time. It's time to bring those halves together, to bring in that unity of ourself. So we must do the inner work. I like to share the tools of allow, accept, and appreciate when it comes to healing. Those 3 words will get you through any navigations of any storm or troubled waters. We are here to help, but we can't assist until you ask for that. You need to pray or just verbalize it. It's simple. Ask the Divine Father, Mother, our Creator, our Yeshua, or your Jesus, or whoever your Ascended Master that you feel connected to, your archangels. We are all here to help, but not unless you ask it. You must ask for that assistance. And then you need to allow for whatever outcome, whatever lesson it is to be learned, has to be completed. And then find the acceptance in the outcome. And understand that there's always a greater plan if it doesn't work out to your expectations. And through that, you will always find gratitude. Whether it's just, I'm grateful that I know there is a greater plan and we will get through this, I survived this, whatever it is. But when you find that gratitude, the miracle always locks in. These are very, very simple but powerful tools. Please understand, you are here because your soul chose to come during this time. Please wake up and remember. Find the love. Find your inner child to nurture and to heal. In whatever way it takes, whether it's gardening, earthing, swimming, painting, creative, beading, prayer, singing. Whatever it is, honor that. Learn to honor the sacredicity of yourself. You are a sacred temple. You are a sacred vessel. Each one of you has a divine spark, a seed of love and truth and light. Find a way to nurture that and to grow in that. Become the divine being that you were meant to be. Let go of the earthly dramas and materials. Be comfortable, but don't get distracted. You must be willing to leave this plane, this worldly earth, with what you came in with, which is nothing, but only the heart and the soul that you were gifted. This is what we say, go to the heart space, step out of the brain, the mind, the ego. Do not fear. Some of you will have very intense symptoms, but it is just the ego screaming like a child throwing a tantrum, afraid to die, afraid to let go of what we have always been conditioned to believe or that's been beaten into us. It's not truth. It's just an illusion. Let it go. My biggest message here today, which probably will be different from the others, is that I focus on healing, accountability, introducing myself as the one who was the beginning of all of this. I'm here to say I'm sorry and to know that I love you and that we love you. And I speak for Yeshua and myself, and I speak on the behalf of Mother and Father and all the divine, that we are family, we are one, and it's time that our children come home, and our brothers and our sisters and all the divine beings that are here and walking among us, that we learn to be of acceptance and allowing for our uniqueness and our gifts to bloom. And we do it with the filters and the boundaries of love and purity and honesty, integrity. And we stand together as ancestors and brothers and sisters and siblings and parentals and children. We are all one. We are here. And there's going to be many things to come. Our time is soon. This is just the beginning, not the end. Do not fear. There is nothing to fear. But please use discernment. There are those here too who are ready to reap for their own agendas. There are dark beings that walk among us. There are tricksters. So please be cautious. Use your heart. Your heart is the divine truth. You will never lie. The head can trick you, but the heart never does. Trust your intuition. Seek out those that have integrity, who are willing to walk with you, share the ride with you, to be gentle and kind, not those that push and demand, and if they are, walk away. We're here to detoxify our bodies, our world, our earth. We must work with Gaia. Gaia is evolving herself. Our Mother Divine has began her own new universal progress and her own worlds that she is co-creating. And as Yeshua and I are to step in and to take place of our Father and Mother in our new world, we are taking on higher and greater accountabilities. And I assure you, that is with the most utmost love and responsibility that we are stepping forward to make this happen. I think I'd like to kind of back up a little bit and kind of retouch on some of the beginning, and then kind of move into the focus of, again, why we're here and how we can make this transition from our 3D into this fourth dimensional phase that we're in and move it into the higher ascension level for 5D preparation. And to give you that sense of you've got this and we're here and it's okay, and it's going to be a little chaotic and it's going to feel very awkward and scary, but it's really kind of like that first time you're on the roller coaster. You just can't think you can do this, but once you get on it and you go up and down and you go around, and then once you let go and just really get that sense that this is kind of fun and it's exciting and there's an exhilaration and we're moving really, really fast. And because of that, it actually becomes fun and it's a new adventure. And then when we get done and it comes to an end, we're like, whoa, let's do that again. Well, we're here to say we're not doing the human run with all the incarnations again, but we are ready for the new adventures. And I'm here again to just say with all of our love and guidance and with certainty that you're not alone and it will pass. It's only temporary. And the more you stand in your truths and you unite together as brothers and sisters and family, the easier the transition and the quicker it happens. The less chaos, the less lessons that those have to learn. We get through our karmas, we get through our shit, so to speak, quicker. And by doing so, there's a lot of good skills and tools that we're here to help you along the way so that it's a more pleasant process. And, you know, it's true. Growing pains is not fun. There is pain involved, but it doesn't have to be so intense or so detrimental. It just can be a hurdle versus a storm or, you know, a torrential downfall. So in thinking of those terms, the one thing that again I want to share is the verse we say in our center is choose joy. Choose joy, because when you stay in that state of openness and willingness to receive and in that high vibration of positive, everything just seems to flow and kind of fall into place. And it allows us to step in and intervene on your behalf. It keeps the resistance out of the way. When you're very resistant or very negative or shut down or in that state of fear, or even I think the term that you guys, a lot of people use is anxieties or depression. When you're in those states of such low vibrations, it's very difficult to pick yourself up and to get out of that mode or state. But it also makes it difficult for us to intervene, because you have to remember, humanity is functioning in a specific hertz or vibrational state. And we, the divine beings and the light beings and the ascended masters, we've gotten to the state where we can stay in those higher frequencies. And those higher frequencies, obviously, there's quite a big space. And we need to find a way to bring you up to meet, or they have to come down to a certain level. But they can only come down so far. And that's why you have to do your homework. You have to bring yourself up to that level to meet us so that we can assist you and bring you out of that rut or depression or illness. It really is up to you. The physical body is magnificent. It so miraculously heals itself, But we don't trust in that. We don't trust in ourselves. We've forgotten so much of our medicines and so much of our empowerments that we become very toxic beings. And when we're toxic, we create toxic vibrations and ripple effects and toxic thoughts and toxic feelings and toxic chemicals into our earth and our environment. We're magnetic beings. We're vibrational, very vibrational beings, frequencies. We're water, we're minerals, we're liquid crystal. Water is imprintable. Minerals are imprintable. We are growing our crystalline core so that we can rise our vibrations and be in that fifth dimensional state. And for those of us who are doing our homework and opening up to our gifts, we're having all those clairaudience, clairvoyance, all these wonderful hypersensitivities or super sensories coming online. That's beautiful. We need to learn to embrace that. All that part in our DNA that was considered junk, that's not junk. That's stuff that went to sleep, stuff that we haven't been able to access in our normal DNA because of all the toxins or the de-ascendance that we've done to ourselves. It's been bred out of us to be our divine self. It's time for that reawakening. That's why we're going to see more children and beings coming into, as the Western world would say, or medicine doctors, is that there's an extra chromosome or there's this deformity or formality. And no, it's parts of us awakening up that we're just not used to seeing anymore or that we remember. These are beautiful things. Embrace the differences, embrace the uniqueness. Stay in that state of positive, because when we stay in that state of flow, everything just comes. It unfolds in ways that through trust and faith. And I'm not talking churches or religion. I'm talking about faith and understanding of ourself, our true inner self. What makes you you? What kind of grit do you have? What are you made of? Who are you going to be? What kind of being do you want to be in the future? Who you are is everything within you already. You just have to remember. But you also have to do the homework and open that up and to trust and to develop and to practice. We have to walk the walk. I like to say, stay in the state of grace. Yeshua has a favorite saying he says to me that is pounded in my head. Trust, trust, and trust. We are here to help you and to walk with you. We aren't asking anything of you that we ourselves are not willing to do or haven't done 1,000,000 times already. I ask of you to take a step back, to breathe. Remember to breathe. Take that breath in and blow out. It's very important to remember that breath, to be non-reactive, to step out of the state of fear, and to remember that your parents, your siblings, and your divine creator are with you every step of the way. We want you to remember how much you are loved. You are love, and you are safe. Trust in the shifts. Trust in the process. And I say this with the most sincerity because I've heard it time and time again throughout this lifetime. As walking in this body, in this form as Jaimee, it has been what has pounded in me over and over as the lessons that I had to come into final remembrance and understanding. As a little girl, it was quite different. I had kind of two lives. I remember the first light coming to me when I was 3 months old. I knew by the time I was 3, I had already started my ministry. I was healing animals and talking to plants and hearing and seeing things and lights and frequencies and fairies and beautiful beings, and some not so beautiful. Unfortunately, my world turned kind of dark. I experienced a lot of the darkness from humanity, from our government, from our military, and through different systems that have many, many faults in them. I've been on both sides of the fence in just about every aspect that humans have walked through in this lifetime and many, many lifetimes. I had to be remembered or be reminded that I chose this. I came here to learn and to experience in a very accelerated rate so that I could remember and wake up to complete my mission. Back in the beginning, as Eve, we set forth to multiply and to grow a race that was to our equality of what the Divine Father loved. Yeshua and I loved each other very much. I wasn't the first woman. The other woman was Lilith. She came in the beginning with Yeshua to create a race of beings that were much like what we would consider our angelics, or a divine hybrid. But it didn't work. There were many experiments, many trials. There was a second, her sister, a Lilith, came in when the first one decided that she wanted to rule. She was too independent. So Yeshua said this was not going to be good, and Father agreed, and they let her go. The second sister came in, and she tried her best, but it just didn't work in the genetics and the breeding. It wasn't what they wanted. It wasn't the outcome of what Yeshua or the Christ conscious was expecting. So in history, we're taught about the Neanderthals and all the other type of monkey men and cavemen and the different breeds that all of a sudden were there, they found, and then they just disappeared because they didn't work. They were buried. Then Eve, I was brought in. And I was brought in a very unique situation as the true heart of Christ, the true heart of Yeshua, the same as Mother and Father were equally created as from one being, one soul, from one heart. That is how we found the true love and the humanity, the humans that we know of as of today, that we are descended from. It was good. I remember when we were in the garden before we were casted out. There are seeds of truths in the Bible, but it is not whole truths. We were considered more of the demigods. We still had a lot of our abilities, our clairs. Back then, we had the 12 strands of DNA. We were superhumans, I guess if you want to put it that way, because we were the gods within in a human soul, in a human embodiment, I mean. We were made of earth. We were made of minerals, water, air. That is truth. When we were casted out, when there was a falling out in the heavens and the battle among those of the fallen angels, and we are created as is above, it is below. There was jealousies. There were hard feelings. There were those that disagreed with the fact that humans were created in the likeness of God and granted full will and forgiveness and all these wonderful gifts, which the other divines and the galactic beings were not. And then the time came when we started creating and procreating and having children and populating our new world. And there were laws and boundaries that were put in place. And that's when we were put into the imprisonment, that Earth became an imprisoned planet through reincarnation. We had to go through death. We had to go through what it felt to be separate, to be ununified, I guess. When Adam died, and I remember it very, very vividly, I wanted to die with him. And you have to remember, death is not a punishment. Death to us is freedom. It releases us from these embodiments, from the imprisoned shackles that we're kept in this incarnations. I had to maintain on living. I had many, many children. I had 30 girls and 33 boys at that time as Adam and Eve. And you have to remember, we lived to be hundreds of years old. So over that lifetime, it was nothing to have that many children. But to go through when he left and left me, that was a pain that I still in this life remember and had to heal from. And it was very much the same pain as Mary Magdelene went through when I watched my most beloved be crucified, tortured, for standing in a belief of love and truth, for only wanting the best of humanity, and to see what has become of our descendants, that they are so easily fearful and attack what is different and what would challenge their systems. But I'm here to remind everybody, our systems are going to be challenged, and they are one by one being taken down and shifted. We can no longer tolerate standing in the same systems through our schools, our governments, our politicians, our medical, our financial. It's all corrupt. Too many elites, too many power hungry, too much masculine, too much ego, too many dark forces, too many serpents, too many demonics have gotten in the way of our progress. But I am here again, and I will continue to say this many times, with so much love and hope, because we have shifted. We have won. It's done. The game is complete. We just have to go through the process of the transformation, because so much healing is needed. It is time for all of us to stand together in unity and to stand in truth and to hold everyone, everything in accountability. Ask questions. Shake them up. It's okay. They need it. Stop being lambs being pushed over the cliff. Don't just walk into something blindly. Use your discernments. Use your heart. Help your neighbor. You have a surplus, offer it to somebody who's in shortage. If you have a surplus, offer it to them in exchange. Pass things forward. We're here to learn so that we can create a new service through the divine love and light and truth. We can have everything met we need and free. Free. Free food, free water, free education, free medicine. Homes, all of our needs will be met. This is the future we have to look forward to. It is coming. Just hang on. My heart aches so much every day with the anticipation of where we're going and where we've come from. Know that again, you are so loved, and it is so important that you stay in that state of joy and faith and love and ownership and integrity, because that is the world we are creating. We are manifestors. The chains have been removed. The shackles are gone. We've already won. The game is over. Now it's time to pick up the pieces and put them into place. It is up to you to choose. It is your free will. You can stay stuck and angry and bitter, and you can stay in the triggers, or you can say, enough. I'm ready. It's time. Let it go. What is history is history. It is no longer. It is being wiped and removed clean. Who you are is in the moment of today and the present. Stay in the present. Continue to grow and be the best version that you can be. Don't worry about your neighbor. Don't worry about your parents. Don't worry about anybody else. If you take care of you and everybody's taking care of themselves, we've already completed what we come here to do. It's important to find what works. Meditation, singing, chants, prayer, temple, garden, whatever it is, build your sanctuary and keep it sacred. Women is so important that you honor and respect yourself and teach your children and your daughters to respect and honor themselves. There has been too many violations, too many trespasses upon our emotions, our physical, and our spiritual. We are in a battle, yes. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to show you we've already won. And to trust that you've got this. I'm here to be your biggest fan and your biggest cheerleader. And I'm not going to leave you. We love you. You are loved. And we're in this to the end, which is soon. That brings us kind of to the next step. In a lifetime when I was working through Kuan Yin, there was a time when I made a pact that I would never leave or give up until all my children came home. It was very hurtful, to be honest, for Yeshua and some of the masculine masters and some of the divine. They didn't understand that. I've had some real awakenings in this life and some deep healings that many of you will not understand or comprehend until we come into the 5th dimension. And then at that level, this will be taught. As we're mastering this level of 3D and 4D, we will only become kind of like kindergartners again, but at a much higher state and a higher level and a quicker learning curve. It's going to be beautiful. The colors, the foods, the sounds, everything is just beyond explainable. There are no words to describe. I've been there. I've been part of the co-creation of the new world. It is our world of Yeshua and I. We already have children. We have beings that are just as excited and waiting with anticipation for our coming home. I get very emotional. I've had to learn to release my own shame and guilt and feelings of bearing the weight of the world as this person and walking, knowing that we made mistakes and we're correcting them. We've taken opportunities of much growth for not only us, but our divine parent. When I sit in council, I'm on the Galactic Council, of the Galactic Council of the Most High. I sit at the table beside Father, who you call Creator, and Yeshua is on my left. I sit between the two. And I'm reminded that what we have done in this lifetime has ripple effected across all planes, all realms, all dimensions. And they are most grateful for what they have learned and come into their own higher understandings through us and through our experiences and all the hardships that we've endured. They have much gratitude towards those of us who have been on this planet. When we come home, when we get to the state where we ascend, we are true masters, not only here, but we are masters of many worlds. So many of our galactic star nations and our light beings are so grateful, including along with our divine parents, for the fact that Earth is considered one of the hard knocks, and only the tough of the tough are willing and able to come here. And many weren't able to until, as of recent, when we have made the alignments and gotten to the point where we've raised Gaia and the frequencies high enough for many of them to come. There have been many seeds that were brought to us and have come forward and volunteering. We started out, when I remember my mission, we had 23 star nations that were still willing, kind of lingering around, rooting for us as the human race and our lost brothers and sisters to come home. And now as I sit between Father on my right and Yeshua on my left at the High Council, and Mother is at the end, Mother Creator is at the end of the table, I sit there and I watch treaties and contracts being rewritten and agreements being made to support and to unify galactic nations along with the lower dimensional realms that have never come together before. So in that is the work, that is the beauty and the excitement and the hope that we have gained and that we've worked so hard just in this lifetime. Just in the last 10, 5, and accelerated in the last 2 years. I've been accused of being an overachiever all my life, and I am grateful for that. That is what's getting me through this last umph and holding everyone accountable. I am the first one to be father, and I get, yes, Anana. I'm like, this isn't going to fly. This, and this has to change. I'm grateful to be a part of this change. I am grateful for being the one who started this in the beginning, and I am now finishing this with hope and love and tears in my eyes, because we've done it. We're here, and we've done something greater than was ever prophesied. We have rewritten history. We have rewritten many, many histories. We've healed timelines. We've healed ancient wars that were before the humanity. We're in the best times we have ever came into. Don't forget how far we've come. You've got this. We've gone from 23 star nations that I remember, and I believe that we're up to working with 27 or 29. I know there's been a couple pending that we're still working and talking with. But I have hope and faith that they're going to be joining us soon as well. This brings us to the fact that when I sit at that council table and I see all these changes being made, and I'm given the opportunity to read a lot of this and give my seal of approval, so to speak, my water stamp, I am kind of the bulldog, as Father puts it, that roots out all the loopholes. Because I've been there, done that. I understand what it means and what all the ugliness and the trickeries and the trespasses that can happen. Unfortunately, that is our human nature. But the fortunate side is it has allowed us to grow beyond the beyond and to heal much that has never been healed before. And it's held all of them, including Father, including the Galactics, and all of our star nations to the highest accountability and love and ethics and integrity. That is our future. And I pray you embrace that. And we're here to walk it together. We are your galactic parents. And we love you. And we embrace you. And we're excited to greet you and to bring you home. But it is your choice. We understand there are still old codes and conditions that keep you in the dark, that keep you in fear. There will be time for those of you who are still stuck to come forward and to learn that there is safety and light and encouragement and opportunities for your growth and your own awakenings. And we will be there when you're ready. But in the meantime, for those who are ready and who are awoken and have done their work, the time has come. It is time. We are going home. There's been a careful balance that's being kept. Because of humanity, we've gone through some tests these last 6 months. And that's exactly what it is, a test. The COVID was put out there as a front, a facade, a mask, a rouge, an illusion, to see how we would respond, to certain pressures and certain outcomes, so that the divine and those that are here working could get a better understanding how to navigate and to guide those through these times. And there are those who are of the dark, who are the forces and the politics and the political and the elites, who are counterproductive and that are using this also to their own agendas. And those are the ones that we are in constant battle. There is a spiritual warfare going on right now, yes. The truth is, we have been fighting for your souls and your lives from the beginning. The beginning of this time, of this lifetime. Those who are awoken understand what I'm saying. The rest of you will grow in understanding in time. When we are awake, we are healers, teachers, way showers, lighthouses. We're simply here to just be, to grow in our strength and to grow in our light and our presence. It's like, for example, having a light here and a light here. They don't shine very bright by themselves. But when we come in and we're all lighting up all over the place, the whole world lights up in time. If we're all kind of clung together in one spot, we have a very bright light in one spot, but the rest of the world we cast more shadows. Many of you are healing and coming to the understandings that we've had very difficult childhoods, very difficult paths, because this is a very difficult mission. We've never succeeded before. Many times we've gotten close, but it hasn't happened. But we are happening now. We've already crossed the threshold. The light has won. We are simply removing those that are not of truth and purity, the ones that will never come into their light, have and are being removed. Some is talk of taking off planet or being removed from the reincarnate cycling pool so that that darkness doesn't continue to spread and to reinfect those that are trying to come through. There are many, many precautions and many levels of healing that is taking place. Many question about our president. I will say, Trump is a character. We don't always have to like those that are doing the heavy work or the dirty work for us. But he is a being that is here, that was chosen by the divine to clean out and to pull that plug, so to speak, out of that sludge hole and help break and shatter these systems that need to fall. We are in the process of rebuilding and igniting new matrices and grid works and systems that are safe and eventually in time will be free for all of humanity. That is our hope and our will. We're here to tell you and to remind you again, do not let fear take over. Do not let hatred and separation and anger guide you. Take that step back and breathe. The Divine Healing Heart Center is the ministry of Yeshua and Anana. We are here located in Wahpeton, which is close to the center of the North American continent, the direct heart. It is the heart in which Gaia herself is opening a vortex that is greater of those that know of Sedona, that is going to be cleansing and healing and purifying. Know that we are here, and those that have come into the remembrance are walking, are the disciples and the archangels and the divine originals, the holy bloodline of Yeshua, Jesus, Adam, Eve, Anana, and Mary Magdelene. They are here at this time in this center. We are here to help with the healings and the guidance and just to give support. There are many of us all over the world. We have sites and communities that are being readied to give support, nutrition, education, holistic medications, medicine, teachings, all over the world. Just look for our symbol. Our symbol is the heart and shield and sword of God with the spiral and the resurrection rose of the Magdalene. And we encompass the violet flame to surround and protect all. We are no longer one. The I am is now we are. We are here. We are love. And we are waiting. So I want to focus on what to expect and what's to come. Maybe bring a little more understanding of how this process and these terms that some of you are a little unfamiliar with, as when we talk about ascension and raising vibrations and frequencies and coming into our ascendance and having our galactic ancestors or brothers and sisters or our terrestrial friends showing up in ships, in physical form. What it means to have understandings and opportunities of growth, and what it means to be harvested. And because we are seedlings that were planted here from the galactic times and space, and our Creator who put us here to be that forefront or the way showers to get everyone on board, literally, to go home. So when we speak about being planted and coming here as indigo children or crystal children or rainbow children, those are the ones that are of recent, more recent, that are getting people prepared in the acceptance of the differences. So many labels are being put on our children and our people of being bipolar or anxiety or depression or hyperactivity or ADHD and these different personality disorders, when it's actually because they're in a hypersensitivity and in a heightened awareness that they themselves aren't capable of understanding, because they're children, they're young, and we haven't had generations or parents to grow up in this to help them through, to navigate through those waters of understanding of what is happening to them. They're being labeled and told that they're wrong and that there's something, different about them, and it's not accepted. And this is where, I'm here to help you understand that this is going to become more the norm. So what's not normal is actually normal and will become our future. And this is a good practice to have that understanding and acceptance. And the fact that the excitement that our galactic brothers and sisters are already among us. They've taken shapes or forms of the human and vessels to blend in. There are those that can shapeshift or come into frequencies, as we say, they're on the other side of the veil, who only walk in the fourth dimension. But now that we're shifting into the fourth dimensional, you're going to be able to see and feel their presence when before you're like, whoa, where did they come from? Or I've never seen or felt that before. Because we're all growing, we're learning, and we're opening. But when the time comes in a very, very near future, within a matter of weeks to months, this year, before the end of this year, and I won't give out too much details as far as timelines, but they will be coming. You will be seeing our skies filled with ships. They're there. If you really know how to look for them, you'll see them. And the ones that are meant to be seen are showing themselves already. Many people are having their experiences firsthand, talking to our different terrestrial beings or our light brothers and sisters that are helping us. They are getting us used to their frequencies, their presence, even though we may not understand or see them in the physical. They want us to know that their presence is there and not to be afraid of them. They're here to help us. We will soon be walking and living and interacting among them. And they're going to be our teachers and guides and big brothers and sisters and help us get acclimated to our new frequencies and our embodiments once we leave this lifetime. So what to expect for Ascension? What does this all mean? It means big changes for sure. It means shifts, retrogrades. You hear and read about the stars and the zodiacs and the planetary alignments. A lot of big words, a lot of behind the scenes going on for sure. But what you simply need to know is that you are growing and you're expanding, not only physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. It isn't about religion. It isn't about race. It isn't about churches or beliefs even. It's simply about your faith in who and what you are and want to become. Put that into practice today. Come into your full awareness by being the best possible version. If you want to be and believe in fairies and unicorns and bears and oh my, right? Believe, they're there. It's truth. There's elementals all around us. Trees, earth, minerals, plants, they talk. They have souls, they have essence, they're living beings, they're sentient beings. They're actually in some worlds more advanced than we are because they don't harm. They are only there to serve, which is the greater good of God. And because of that, they are highly, highly valued. When we get to the state of our fifth dimensional, we will not be shedding blood. We will not be eating flesh. There will be no killings or death in the sense that we have to fear. We won't lose or have to separate from our embodiments. We'll be coming fully into our full energetic whole being, our true soul source, our soul self, our higher self. We will be male and female together or as one mated pair. I know a lot of this is going to seem unclear or unsure or impossible. But I assure you, many, many are coming into this awareness and understanding. And we've had these visions, we've had these dreams, we've had these knowings, we've had these talks with our higher selves and the dimensional beings that have already come through to reconfirm and to explain and elaborate in what they're showing us. The time has come for us to grow and evolve into a higher being. We can no longer afford to be, as we say, humans or stuck in the 3D dimension. If we continue to do this, our demise is coming. We are descending at an accelerated rate to where humanity will not exist. This is our true and only hope to move forward in growth, in love, truth, purity, is to work on our ascension. And again, ascension simply means to grow in uplifting, an elevated phase of truth, integrity, ethics, to live a life with minimal footprints through kindness, generosity, gentleness. And with that, we grow in our empowerments, in our sensitivities. We must stay and shift into our heart space. Get out of the head, stay out of the ego, shatter all those illusions, and let all of our past and history go. Who we were, what we did, it doesn't matter anymore. We're here to simply prepare ourselves through nutrition, the highest form of fruits, vegetables, spices, herbs. These are our true medicines. This we have to remember. Our medicine is really through our ancient wisdom that we've forgotten, that we're bringing back. We're bringing the old into the forefront, which is our future. We've lost remembrance of all that we used to do and be. It's time for that memory to come forward again. We need to work on our thoughts and our emotions. What does not serve us, does not serve the greater good, must go. We have to stay in that state of forgiveness and allowing others to be who they are without judgment. And that includes ourselves. Many of us have the hardest time forgiving and accepting ourselves. This is the true self-mastery we must come into. And remember that you are worthy. You are enough. You are love. And you are loved. We need to heal all of our traumas and our triggers. If you need help, seek those of us out who are there, waiting and willing to hold your hand and to walk you through them. We need to purify our bodies, our minds, and our spirits. Do the best you can. We aren't perfect. We're still in the human form. We still have the human needs and wants, but we must do the best we can to shift that. Do your detoxifications. Take your baths, your Epsom salt baths. Eat your nutrition. Try to keep the chemicals out of your food, your environment, your water. We need to get back to that wholesome and purity. This is one way to help awaken your spirituality. We've been granted or given these fluorides in our water, which is actually meant to calcify our pineal glands and to shut us down. So we need to be counter-reactive to those type of things. The food that we eat, the processed, the chemicals, the preservatives, the formaldehydes, everything in our environment, we must start choosing and taking a stand and making it clean and whole and true and pure again. It affects our physical, but it also affects our spiritual. And the chemical responses, it affects us emotionally and mentally. We have to do the best we can to come forward and stay in that state of non-reactive, so to speak. Be the calm of the storm. Again, take that step back. Breathe. Seek out your alternative medicines. Seek out your healers and your divine beings that are already walking and coming into that holistic health or healing or meditations or mediators to read or psychic readers. Stay in the natural flow of things. When the time comes and our brothers and sisters arrive and the ships fill our skies, please keep your hearts open Do not fear. Embrace our ancestors, our greater brothers and sisters who are here. There will be many of us who will be, some use the word harvested, but we will be ready to be taken home. Our time is coming very soon. Trust in that. Those who are ready will feel that pull, and you will be told where to go through vision, through meditation, through dreams. Trust in that. There will be a time when the matrices and the old programs are going to shatter, and it's coming very quickly. Again, do not go into hatred and anger and violence. Don't go into rioting. Do not do what our history has compelled us to do in the past. Stay in that state of grace. Stay in that state of love and compassion and mercy and forgiveness. Help one another. Hold each other tight. Embrace the new shift that is coming. The more we stay in this vibrational state and frequency, the easier the shift will come. Some of us will just wake up and it will be like we're already there. Some of us will have to wait and complete this lifetime and cross through the natural state of death because of the time frame. You didn't have enough time to get fully prepared for the physical shift. But do not fear. You will see many, many deaths and waves of events that may seem very scary and cataclysmic. Weather patterns, natural disasters. But those times are being held off to the very last moment. And that's only for those that are needed to truly wake up and to be shaken up so that they can stay in that state of openness and learn to ask for that help. For those that are truly stuck and have to learn the greater lessons, they will see a tougher time. But the rest, the shift should come fairly quickly and fairly easy with minor hiccups. That is what I am told. That is what I am shown. That is what we are preparing for. But it is up to you to choose. The frequencies in our world are in a very delicate balance. We humans are manifesting the outcome of our ascension. If we stay in the state of non-fear and panic, it will come swiftly and gently and with great excitement. There will be landings. There will be elementals. There will be beings of all kinds and shapes and faces that will be landing and greeting. Invite them in. Do not be afraid. Use discernment. There are still those who have already been here that have their own agendas. That is truth. Those are the ones that are more connected to our military and some of our government politics that are soon to be shattered and fully disclosed in the very near future. At that time, we are anticipating somewhat of a blackout in the sense that our media, our TVs, our social formats will have filming or messages being broadcasted to give you an understanding of what's happening. Just know that the time is coming and it's safe. You are safe. And it's exciting. And embrace this time. We've been waiting for this for way too long. And I'm excited to know that that time is only in a matter of weeks to months. Stand strong. Know that when the banks fall, and there may be some times of police force and political government systems that will shut down. This is all a part of the plan to reboot and to reset. You have to tear down the foundations that are not good, that are crumbling, that are contaminant, in order to build new. This is the time that Gaia, Mother, Father, Creator, Yeshua, we the divine have chosen to set and clear the slate and to renew what needs to be done. We're here to remind you, all is well, all is possible, and all will move forward as is meant to be. For those of you that are in question if you will ascend, the answer is yes. But you have to do your work. We can't do it for you. Those who have been doing their work will go first. There is what they call the first wave, and there will be a second chance for those that aren't quite ready. We call them the second wave. So there is time. Do not panic. But please know the time is short. So the quicker you do your work and the quicker you open yourselves up to receive and to embrace this change and to step out of fear and to embrace your divine self and the divine greater plan, the quicker this all will shift and come into play. I think to finish things up, or to sum things up, to bring in understanding of we're here as divine beings in a human experience or a human embodiment. We've gotten comfortable and kind of stuck, some of us, in this existence. But I'm here to let you know and to assure you that we have to step out of our comfort zone. We have to step out of our laziness. We have to step out of this comfort that we've grown accustomed to or conditioned. It's time. It's time for us to grow and to evolve. Because if we wait any longer, we're going to see the end of our existence. We've run out of time in that sense. We can't afford to stay where we are. We have descended so much and for so long. We're coming to the end. We have to realize that even for those that have been awoke, it's not the time to sit back. We're busier than ever. We have to go full force. As Yeshua reminds me, we are now a locomotive and full speed ahead. There's no turning back. We will do this and help you with and through love and understanding and mercy. There's no entitlements. There's no free rides. You have to do your work. And yes, we're mastering this one level, this 3D dimensional life, and starting anew in the 5th dimension. That is truth. But there's a lot of fun, a lot of joy, and excitement for the new adventures ahead. There is no limit. You only have the limits of your own imagination and the limits you place in your own mind. So remember, you are divine beings in a human experience. And the world and the civilizations and the lifetimes that we have experienced and that we know are coming to an end. This world, this illusion is shattering. So it's your choice. You get to choose. Stand up, be a part of it, embrace it, and go for new adventures. Or you can be stuck and stay put and stagnant and keep your head buried in the sand and stay asleep, where you will be here to be consumed and recycled until there's nothing left. That is not the hope or the life that we choose for you. There is much, much more to come. This is truly only the beginning. You are meant for much greater. And this is our hope and our excitement to bring to you and to encourage you to choose. But it is your free will. With all of our love, devotion, and support, we are here to help you through this process. We ourselves, as Yeshua, Anana, Jesus, or Mary, have walked this walk. We've endured everything that humanity has possibly could gone through. We don't ask of you anything that we haven't held ourselves accountable for or have done ourselves. We ask that you keep your hearts open. You set your intuitions and your intentions in truth, purity, and love. It is your intent is what we look for, not perfection. Perfection comes much, much later. We only ask that you do your very best and you open your hearts to be willing to receive through our divine Creator, through our Christ, and allow us to help you through this process.